Hello students, it's my pleasure to talk to you about a very important topic of present day, namely environmental awareness. We are all concerned about humans' impact on the environment, on the city environment, on the urban environment, environment of the region, and perhaps environment of the entire earth. And we are concerned about humans causing environmental pollution, environmental degradation, air pollution, water pollution, and associated diseases and illnesses and so on. Many of us are aware of that. Along with environmental awareness, there is another issue that is of particular interest to me as a meteorologist, or what I like to call a weather and climate scientist. And that issue is global warming and climate change. As perhaps you know, there is an increasing debate at present about humans causing probably global warming and associated climate change. The topic I want to talk to you today is, what is global warming? What does it mean to you and to us all? And whether it will have a serious impact to human society in the next 10, 20 or 50 years. Let me begin simply by defining some terms. Global warming is meant as the warming of the Earth's surface temperature or mean temperature as a result of human activity. It has been demonstrated that in last 100 years, the mean temperature of the Earth as measured by thermometric records all over land areas of the Earth, as well as temperature measurements on ocean surface. And it is now generally agreed that the mean temperature of the Earth's surface, land as well as water surface, has increased by about 0.6 of a degree Celsius in 100 years. Many scientists feel that this increase in the mean surface temperature of the Earth is directly linked to increasing concentration of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and methane. We all know that human activity, especially industrial human activity all over the world, has increased the concentration of atmospheric carbon dioxide. In last 50 years, or to be exact, in last 100 or more years, the total concentration of atmospheric carbon dioxide has increased by about 30 to 35%. We all know as scientists that carbon dioxide is called a greenhouse gas for the simple reason that just like a greenhouse, it allows the sun's radiation to come through, but it traps the outgoing radiation from the Earth's surface. As a result, many scientists believe that because of increasing concentration of atmospheric carbon dioxide, the Earth's temperature has increased by about half a degree to perhaps 1 degree in last 100 years. And many scientists believe that it is important to control the growth of this carbon dioxide. If this growth is not curtailed, then some scientists believe that in 150 to 100 years from now, the Earth's mean temperature could rise by as much as 4 degrees Celsius, and this rise in temperature could produce some undesirable atmospheric impacts on human societies. Something like huge, large floods, large droughts, large forest fires, and so on. However, there is a group of scientists, small at present, but growing in number, who feel that the increase in Earth's mean temperature is not necessarily by increasing concentration of atmospheric carbon dioxide, but perhaps by human activities on ground. As you all know, on any given day, on any big city in India or anywhere in the world, there are hundreds of people walking on the street. Hundreds of cars and other vehicles are driven on the streets. Plus, there are hundreds or perhaps thousands of buildings being constructed every week, every few months, and these buildings, humans, vehicular traffic, they all add heat to the neighboring environment. And quite possibly some of this heat is measured by thermometric records, and it is quite possible, as some scientists claim, that the warming of the Earth's surface may primarily be because of human activity on the ground and not necessarily by increasing concentration of carbon dioxide. Besides human activity, the atmosphere itself, the entire world's global atmosphere, as we call it, is a very complex phenomenon. There are continuous changes in these atmospheric circulation patterns. In fact, the atmospheric climate is never constant. It is constantly changing. We often like to say that the only thing constant about the climate is that it is changing. And because of that, we believe, or some of us scientists believe, that the present change in the climate that we all talk about may quite possibly be natural change, naturally because of ocean circulation pattern and because of temperature changes in various surfaces of the ocean, and that resulting in atmospheric circulation pattern changes. Also, as we all know, sun is the only and the ultimate source of energy on this earth. The sun's energy is never constant. In fact, sun is an extremely complex star, as we call it. And it is now realized that the solar energy and its variability can play an important role on the Earth's climate. And there are now scientists who claim that solar variability in last 20 to 30 years may have changed the Earth's temperature to some extent. So when we put all these facts together, we come to realize that the Earth's mean temperature change can occur by a variety of reasons. It could occur as a result of atmospheric carbon dioxide, or it could occur as a result of human activity on the ground, or ocean circulation patterns and its changes, or solar variability. If you see the Earth's mean temperature record as shown here, then you will see that from 1910 to 1945, the Earth's mean temperature rose rather sharply by almost 1/2 of 1 degree. We still do not know why this mean temperature changed so rapidly. Soon after the Second World War, the Earth's mean temperature started to decline a little bit, and till about 1977-1978, the Earth's mean temperature declined by about 0.25 of a degree. It is only in last 25 years that the Earth's mean temperature has increased by about 1/3 of a degree. And it is this increase that many scientists believe is caused by increasing concentration of atmospheric carbon dioxide. However, when we do a close analysis of all the factors, we come to realize that the Earth's mean temperature may have risen as a result of a variety of factors that I discussed earlier. And we now feel that the primary reason for the increase in the Earth's mean temperature is human activity on the ground, or circulation changes in ocean environment, plus variability in the sun's output of energy. It is quite possible that atmospheric carbon dioxide may be changing the Earth's temperature, but we feel that that impact is very insignificant or very small indeed. I therefore feel that the best strategy for humans is to understand first how and why the climate changes. Having understood this, the next strategy would be to try to predict ahead of time, or sufficiently far ahead of time, how these climate changes will occur in next 5 to 10 years. And based on this projection, I think it is possible for human societies in the world to make necessary changes in our lifestyle and develop appropriate strategies to combat these climate changes. Let me give a simple example pertaining India as a country and the impact of Indian monsoon. As you all know, Indian monsoon is the most important climatic event for India. It is this monsoon that brings to India the most valuable commodity, namely water. We all know that the monsoon occurs in India generally in the 4 months of the year, namely June to September. In southern eastern states, monsoon rains also occur from December to February. For example, in the province of Tamil Nadu, which receives more rain during December to February and not in June to September. However, in most other regions, monsoon rains comes during the 4 months. And as you probably know, in some places it rains like cats and dogs, as we call it, while some places it rains very little. Perhaps you all are aware or are familiar with the fact that last year, in the year 2005, in July of 2005, the city of Mumbai received about 45 inches of rain just in 40 hours. Also, a month earlier, many cities in the state of Gujarat received several inches of rain. Now, why this occurs, we do not have a full answer at this point. However, we do know certain basic patterns of Indian monsoon, namely that primarily Indian monsoon begins in early June and ends by the end of September. We also know the climatic distribution of Indian monsoon rainfall. For example, on the west coast of India, there are locations which receive rain as much as about 200 inches during these 4 months. Elsewhere, we get rains anywhere from about 20 inches to 40 inches. For India as a country, I believe it is important that we make best use of these monsoon rains. If it is possible for us to somehow trap all this monsoon water before it goes into the sea, then we can reuse this water during the months following the Indian monsoon, when there is often a shortage of rains. For example, a recent project in the state of Gujarat, the Narmada River project, is now, I understand, bringing valuable rains water to many parts in Saurashtra. I understand that the project has perhaps displaced a few thousand people from their original belongings, and it is a serious social problem. But when we look at all the sides of this issue, I personally feel that the water that is now being transported to various parts of Saurashtra is helping a large number of people, probably several lakhs to several million people who did not have sufficient water for a long time. So perhaps some people have to be displaced, but when we put both sides and analyze carefully, I think there are benefits to a larger group of people. And although this particular project may be contentious for some, but in the long run, I believe it will provide benefits to a large section of the population. I would like to see similar projects being experimented or being started in other parts of India. That way, we will be able to use the 4-month monsoon water during the entire year. Finally, I want to say something to you students. First, try to understand the problem of climate change. Is the climate change that we experience is occurring solely because of human activities, or it is occurring as a result of natural changes in Earth's atmosphere? In my opinion, the best solution will be to understand what is causing the climate change and develop suitable adaptation strategy for future changes in the Earth's climate. Good luck, and I hope you try to understand the problem of climate change which is facing human society at this point in time.